What's up, y'all? So today I actually want to dive a little bit deep with you. Part of the big thing about this program is reshaping your mind, understanding how what you think affects how you act. And as a result of those actions, you've built habits, and those habits have led you to where you are today. And so, if we trace it back and go to the root of the problem, we can affect or change how we think. Therefore, we can affect or change how we act. Our actions can change our habits, and habits can give us different results, right? And so, y'all, this is not just about weight loss, honestly. This is about every part of your life. And so today we're actually talking about something that you're probably gonna need pen and paper for, that you're probably gonna have to watch again and again to kind of digest what we're talking about. But I seriously believe you're ready for this. I really believe you're ready to take on this deeper level of understanding, this deeper level of knowing and recognizing what's truly going on behind the scenes, so that you can rewire your mind and refocus in a direction that's really going to serve you, not only for your health and wellness, y'all, but for every area of your life, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your career, whether it is just personal things, that goals you have for yourself. So as we uncover and we recognize what's at the root of this thing, we can rewire our minds and refocus in a direction that's going to serve us. So today we are actually talking about limiting beliefs and your core beliefs. So I homeschool my boys, so I'm really big on giving some definitions. So what is a core belief? Let's start there. What is a core belief? The core belief is basically your identity. It's the foundation of what you believe is possible and what you believe about the world, what you believe about yourself. It is the foundational belief, how you view, it's the lens you view the world through. That is a core belief. All right. So what's a limiting belief? Your limiting belief is what you believe is possible for you based on your foundational beliefs, right? And so that's a limiting belief. So let's first go to this core belief. Like I said, your core beliefs are just how you view the world, how you see things, how you understand things, the lens through which you see every single thing. And your core belief is actually built over time, like through your experiences as a child or as a teenager or as an adult, through things that people have said to you over and over and over again. They have established some foundational beliefs about yourself, or foundational beliefs about, food, or foundational beliefs about what's actually possible for you or what you're worthy of. And so through time and through experiences as a kid and as a teenager and as an adult, we have this foundational belief, and we truly, without even understanding it, we begin to see the world based on how we believe, what our foundational belief is. It's how you look at people and how you judge people. If you have a foundational belief that money is evil, you look at rich people and you judge them based on they got a lot of money, they must be evil. No judgment towards it. It's just recognizing maybe I have a core belief that's not right, or maybe I have a core belief that's leading me to look at certain people in a certain way. Anytime you judge things, anytime you look at things, it all stems from what you your foundation truly believe. Maybe you look at skinny people and you judge them. Maybe you look at people who are overweight and you judge them. All of that judgment comes from a core foundational belief. And so we have to recognize, like, how are we really viewing the world? How are we really viewing people? And honestly, man, how are you really viewing you? How do you view your worth? How do you view what you're capable of, or what you should do or shouldn't do? Where does that actually come from? And so if you have negative core beliefs, they're going to lead to negative thoughts, and therefore you're going to have negative actions. If you have positive core beliefs, then they're going to lead to positive thoughts, and then that's going to lead to positive actions. Do you see why, if there's something in your life that you are unsatisfied with, that you do not like? Do you see why your core belief, how you truly believe, can impact changing that very thing? Your core belief, changing your core beliefs, recognizing what your core beliefs are essential, y'all, to you moving forward and not backtracing. I'll use me as an example later on. So that's what your core belief is, and you can recognize that and begin to understand what your core beliefs are. One, just by looking at how you judge things, looking at how. And here's the thing, we can fool people, and we can sometimes try to fool ourselves, but if we are really honest and we sit down and we think, we can recognize how we really view people, how we view situations, how we view the world, why our judgments can be, how we judge things may be negative sometimes. And so you have to recognize what your core beliefs are if you want to be able to properly rewire and refocus your attention to things that are going to serve you better. All right, so that's core belief. Now let's talk about your limiting belief. What is a limiting belief? Your limiting belief is what you believe is actually possible for you based on your foundational beliefs. So, just what do you feel like you personally can accomplish or you personally can do that actually stems from your core beliefs? That limiting belief comes from your core belief, and it's what you believe is true for you, what you believe you can actually accomplish. And your limiting belief limits, it puts a limit on you, and they are typically false beliefs that someone has as a result of making an incorrect assumption about something in your life. And so I'm going to use an example here. And this is just something we teach our kids, maybe a sensitive topic or not, but y'all know me, I'm transparent. Y'all gonna get the real Keisha left and right. But people can easily look at, if I had the core belief that my race completely defined me and told me what I could do, I would always feel like there was something I couldn't accomplish in life because I am this beautiful brown-skinned girl, this beautiful brown-skinned woman. I would have a limiting belief because my core belief would be that because I am brown, because I am black, that I'm limited in what I can actually go and accomplish. However, if I have the core belief that I can do anything, like my skin color, my race, my gender doesn't hold me back. If I had that core belief, I would have positive thoughts about when I accomplish or when I approach a situation or when I try to do something different. I will have positive thoughts. Therefore, my actions will be geared towards meeting that goal. And that's just an example, a quick example of how your core belief can give you a limiting belief, whether it's positive or negative. Okay, so here's the thing. Have you ever felt stuck in any area of your life? It could be with your health, it could be with your relationships, it could be with your career. I mean, it could be anything. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like, man, I just can't figure this out, or man, there's no way I can keep moving forward, or this is just, it is what it is? I want you to think about that. Have you ever felt that way? And if you have, that is a result of a limiting belief. It's a result of a faulty core belief that has given you a limiting belief. And that limiting belief will cause you to sabotage yourself. It's almost like you do a good thing up until a certain point, and then once things hit a certain level, you do something that takes you back to old habits. And here's an example. We are in this health space, and if you have a limiting belief about what your body can actually do, or you have a limiting belief about how your body can actually transform, what you'll find is that you'll get to a certain point and you'll do a certain level, and you will begin to self-sabotage yourself. You'll begin to excuse your way out. You'll begin to not show up. You'll begin to have negative thoughts about your journey, even though you've come a long way. And when you find yourself doing that, you have to recognize that this is happening because I have a limiting belief about myself. Here's another example that I'm going to give you guys. I had a limiting belief about what I could actually accomplish in my own online business. Limiting belief about what was actually possible for little old Keisha. See, little old Keisha, like whatever. And what I have tracked over time is I would get to a certain level of success, a certain level of impact. And it was almost like once I got to that certain level and I began to inch further past my limiting belief, it's almost like I self-sabotage. I go blank. I forget what I'm supposed to be doing, or I don't know how to show up, or I get confused, and all these things begin to happen. And I had to realize, y'all, in myself, like, dude, what is really going on? Because it's frustrating. You know, like mentally, I knew that I was getting to a level and I was super excited about it. But internally, I also knew that I didn't feel like I could go any further. I didn't really believe in myself, no matter how much I tried to affirm myself or how much I tried to, hype myself up. I really didn't believe that I could go much further. And so what did I do? I just began to, it was almost like I lost how to do anything. And so that was a sign of limiting belief. And I could have kept trying to push past that, but honestly, I had to go to the root. I had to address, why do I have this limiting belief about what's possible for me, about the impact I can personally make, about how I can show up and how many women are drawn to me and how many women can be impacted by me. I had to address the limiting belief that I personally had in order for my actions to keep moving forward. And so as I say that, I want you to think about you. Like, has that ever happened for you where you're doing good? Like, yeah, you're killing it. You're showing up. You're excited, whether it's in your relationships, in your health, in your business, in anything where you're doing great. You're showing up. You're giving it your all, and you get to this certain point, and it's almost like you stop showing up. You get confused. You don't know what to do. You all of a sudden have this blank mind when it comes to whatever journey you're on. That's the sign of a limiting belief that has to be addressed. You must recognize that. Or have you ever thought this? I'm gonna fail again. Listen, Linda. I know I have so many ladies who come to me, and you're probably one of them. You've tried different things. You took a lot of different journeys. Listen, we women, that's what we do. We take journeys. We try stuff. We keep trying to better ourselves. And most of them you failed on. Most of them, like, you quit on. And when you start another journey, and sometimes the reason you've quit, not necessarily because the program didn't work, it was because you had a limiting belief that kept you stuck. Right? Think about it. Most of us have done things and then you go to a new journey and you're like, man, I'm just gonna fail again, just like I always do. Limiting belief. Losing weight is, man, this is too hard. Limiting belief. I just don't have time, or I'm too busy. Limiting belief. And I'm not motivated. Now, I want y'all to write these things down because I want you to look at your own life and see if any of these things strike a chord. Do you resonate with any of this? Have you ever thought, I'm gonna fail again? Have you ever thought that losing weight is too hard, getting healthy is too hard? Have you ever thought that you just didn't have time? Listen, I just don't have time for this. I'm spread thin. I'm too busy. Have you ever thought that you're just not motivated is the reason why you're not doing anything? As we said before, when you have a limiting belief, it's a result of a core belief, right? A core belief. And so when you look at these limiting beliefs you have, it could be very possible that some of your core beliefs are, I'm a failure. Is that your core belief? Do you really believe that you are personally a failure? Could your core belief be that I'm just not capable of hard things? I can't do hard things. Losing weight's too hard. Core belief, I can't do hard things. Another core belief is I don't deserve to prioritize my health. I don't deserve it. I'm supposed to give and give and give to everyone else. I don't really fit into that. I don't deserve to be a priority. I want you guys to think about that. Because whatever limiting the belief that you have identified or recognized to be a top one in your life, there's a core belief underneath that has caused you to believe that way. All right? So now that you are kind of like your mind's going and you're kind of thinking like, how do I really feel about myself? What am I really, what has really held me back? What am I really thinking? What beliefs do I really hold? Now that you recognize that, we have to reprogram. We have to change your faulty core beliefs, those negative core beliefs. You, girlfriend, we gotta address them. Cause listen, you with me for at least 12 weeks and we can go beyond that time because I do continue training and coaching beyond that. But at least 12 weeks you're here with me. And if you don't change your core beliefs, you're gonna find yourself in the very same situation that you've been in before. So how do you do this? You have to identify. I'm gonna give you some steps to take. You have to identify, sorry, I have a little partner. You have to be quiet, okay? All right, so how do you recognize and how do you reprogram and change your core beliefs? Number one, you have to identify what area you wanna change. What area in your life do you wanna change? Is it health? Is it finances? Is it relationships? What area do you personally want to change? Identify that. Number two, you have to dig up what thoughts you're really having around that area. What thoughts are you really having about your health? What thoughts are you really having about your finances? What thoughts are you really having about your marriage and your relationships? So you have to identify and dig up what thoughts you're having around that area. And here's the key, where they come from. Where do you get this from? Where do you get this idea that you don't deserve to prioritize yourself? Where do you get that from? Then you continue digging in to see the negative core belief behind it. Since we're on this health journey, let's take losing weight. Losing weight is so hard. Listen, your core belief could very well be that I can't do hard things. Where did you get that from? Where did you get the idea that you can't do hard things from? Okay, once you've identified that, then this is the key. This is what I want. This is what's gonna be the game changer. Listen, Linda, you better write this one down. This is what's gonna change the game for you. Number 4, you have to look at the evidence in your life to prove your core belief wrong. Ow! You have to look, you got evidence in your life. Okay, let's take this losing weight's too hard. Okay, there are challenges when it comes to losing weight, but what evidence do you have in your life that you can do hard things? What have you done before that says, man, that was hard? As you look back on it, giving birth, baby, was hard, okay? It was hard, but I did it. I can do hard things. Graduating college, it was hard, baby, but I did it. So I have a track record for doing hard things, even if it's not the particular thing I'm embracing at the moment. I have evidence. I got evidence. I got stuff in the background that says that I can do hard things. So you have to find evidence in your life. Evidence to prove your core belief wrong. If you don't believe, like I'm a biblical person, I love standing on the word of God. And a lot of times people don't, ladies come to me who have a similar belief and they feel like, well, I'm supposed to love everyone else. I'm supposed to serve everyone else. I'm supposed to do everything for everybody else. And sometimes we feel because we're supposed to be a servant to all, that means we neglect ourselves. Y'all, sometimes taking the word of God can in the wrong way can lead to a negative core belief. You are supposed to serve. I'm talking for myself, Keisha. I am supposed to serve. I am supposed to love others, and I am supposed to do all these things. But the word of God also says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if I ain't really loving myself, how can I love my neighbor? The first priority is to love God, then to love myself. Therefore, I can pour out of the love that I have for myself into my neighbor. See how I just got it wasn't grabbing anything out of context, but I'm able to get a track record, get evidence that the core belief that I have is faulty. Okay? All right. Does that make sense? I hope so. So you take a look at, you find evidence. All right? Find some evidence that the core belief you have is wrong. You need help? Let me know. I got a bunch of questions I can ask you and lead you to discover in your life how there's evidence that your core belief is incorrect. Okay, so look for areas where you have done the hard things. And then what you do, here's the next key, okay? Now that we found the evidence, we have the track record that we have in the past with ourselves or with our whatever we stand on. Now you have to replace those old thoughts and those old ways of thinking. You have to replace them with positive ones. And the positive thing is not this fluffy, duffy, fly in the air kind of stuff. The positive things are things you actually can grab a hold of. It's stuff you truly believe. Going back to our journey of weight loss, like losing weight so hard, or let's lose. Girl, Keisha, I just don't have time. I'm so busy. And so we go back and we find evidence. Like, okay, there might be a lot of things going on in your life, but check your track record. How much time do you spend on Facebook or on social media? Whoop, child, that was like 30 minutes right there. And if you're the average person, it's a couple of hours a day. How much time do you spend at night decompressing and self-caring and watching your favorite Netflix show? You may have a lot of things going on in life, but you're not too busy. Because you just went and proved that core belief of I don't have time. You went and proved that wrong because you had a track record of doing other things when you still had a lot on your plate, right? And so we have to be able to find that evidence, and we have to be able to replace our old thoughts with new positive ones. Yes, I have time. I have to make this a priority. I will make this a priority in my life. Because yes, I have a lot on my plate, but if I prioritize it, this can fit on my plate as well, right? You have to take time to find the evidence and replace those old thoughts with new ones. This is going to help you to refocus. You're rewiring your brain when you put those deliberate thoughts in your mind. You're rewiring your brain when you change, you recognize all this stuff and you change what you're telling yourself from the negative thoughts you used to have to the positive one. That's rewiring and helping you to refocus on the direction you truly want to go. All right. So identify where you're feeling stuck. Identify the negative thought patterns you have around that area, and then find your track record. Go back to find evidence to prove those core beliefs wrong, and then you begin to replace the negative old beliefs with the positive ones that you truly do believe. You see, we're not trying to get some fluffy duffy stuff that you don't truly believe anyway. We're trying to get you something that's tangible, that you can feel, that you can grab a hold of, that you can say, this is evidence that I have done the very thing that I felt like was holding me back. So let me know, y'all. Please let me know how this resonates with you. I would love to hear a comment, love to know if you can relate. I would love to know your areas you're working on and what limiting beliefs that you've had and what core beliefs that you've uncovered and what evidence that you found that's helping you. I will make up a little blueprint, a little page that you can work on, a little worksheet that you can do to help you walk through this. But if you want to, and we've talked about the R Factor Mindset Makeover, if you want to embrace change long-term in every area of your life, if you want to show up in a more powerful way as you, as a mom, as a wife, as a leader, as a teacher, as whatever it is that you do in a more powerful way, you gotta address them core beliefs. Because no matter what, your limiting beliefs will always hold you back. As you change your core beliefs, your limiting beliefs also change, and you will find yourself going to heights and levels that you never thought were possible because you had a faulty core and limiting belief. And so let's get a hold of that. Let's begin to change that. Let me know how this resonates with you. I look forward to hearing from you. You got this. You can do this. I believe in you. And now is the time. You're ready. All right. Ciao.